I feel like I'm going to be scared now of tall people with asthma.
Yeah.
Just because of how
He was having a tough time breathing.
Initiating weekly entertainment brought to you by Extra Rad. Boys Meet Film will begin in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Enjoy.
Welcome to Boys Meet Film. My name is Michael. I'm your host, and these are my boys, Kellen Crawford, Max Newhan, and Sean McDaniel.
Hello.
Today, we're going to be talking about Nosferatu, directed by Robert Eggers, which is his latest sexy vampire movie. He also directed The Witch and The Northman.
We saw this movie, 4 hours ago altogether?
What time is it right now?
It's 3:15.
Yeah,
So
we finished the movie 4 hours
We
ago.
started at 9:35 this morning.
And we haven't been able to talk about it because we've been waiting to talk about it on the pod.
Yeah.
Here we are.
So cool.
So, Sean,
So cool.
why
Yeah,
don't
Sean,
you go ahead
go
and
for it.
Oh
lead
my
us off?
gosh. It was just so dark and grungy and wild. And there's a period piece that was just, it was so well set, like the set design and the way they made it. Took you back into that world of, what was it, 1836 or whatever?
1865.
There it is. It was a
Thank God
couple
we got
years off.
Kellen
Yeah, we got Kellen here. Just,
Our historian.
It's the only title on screen other than Nosferatu is Germany, 1865.
there it is. There it is. Yeah.
The
Oh,
only
yeah.
other thing you had to read
Yeah,
was
yeah.
that.
My dyslexic probably jumbled them around.
That's not true. There's subtitles for the amazing.
Oh, yeah.
What is the language he's speaking?
What is that? Transylvanian? I don't know.
Say that again? How do you say it?
I don't know. I don't even know.
Transylvanian?
Yeah, what
Like
was that?
Tommy was.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I couldn't tell you. It was
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Why are
That's
you
crazy.
here? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I want to hear Kellen's take on this movie because this movie, to me, was everything that you are.
Yeah. I think that's a great way.
You love everything that was happening
Yeah.
on screen, as did I. I thought it was absolutely incredible. But I want to hear your thoughts.
It
on
did
this.
seem like it spoke to Kellen.
Oh yeah,
This
Like,
movie
I was-
might as well been named Kellen.
yeah. This
I-
is this is for Kellen.
I've never felt so seen.
See, that's what I'm saying, dude.
And I just, okay. I mean, I don't want to give any spoilers away yet. I have so much to say about this film.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen any trailers for this. I went into this totally blind. You asked me if I wanted to see Nosferatu. Immediately, my first thought is like Bram Stoker's Dracula, which huge fan. Let me just say, this being an adaptation of that, big fan.
Nice.
Big fan. I just didn't like how
No spoilers.
there were just a lot of pesky characters getting in the way. There's just like one good guy in the film. Just one good guy in the film, and he was just like, he was just doing his thing for love, you know. And all these other pesky people just for getting in the way of this one guy, this one good guy. I didn't get it. I didn't get that. I'm talking about Nosferatu.
Really?
He was the hero. He was the hero of the movie.
Hero of the story.
Yeah.
It was Kellen's hero.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely Kellen's hero.
God, he was hot.
Something about it.
Yeah,
So tall and lengthy.
I really like Robert Eggers as a director.
Yes.
I like his ambition to make things as historically accurate as possible. But then all of his films blend with this like fantastical, mythological, kind of idea set at that time.
Yeah, dude.
With the witch, witches versus what is it, Protestants? I don't know.
The Northmen.
Northmen,
The Northmen.
Vikings.
Yeah, the Viking time period.
Incredible.
His movies have such an incredible atmosphere. Like
Yeah.
it really like through the sound design and the cinematography, you just get sucked into this like it's so like unsettling and beautiful film. Like it's awesome. I also love the way everyone talked. It was like I obviously don't know a whole lot about that time period, but it just seemed like that would be the way they all talked.
Oh,
It
At
was-
that time.
it was
It fit.
totally.
It seemed
Victorian.
very accurate to whatever that would be, because just the way they would deliver lines and all this stuff. It was awesome. It was so cool.
I will say the only thing, and this is for all of his films, and it's not Robert Eggers' fault, but I really wish that they would do screenings with subtitles for all of his films, mainly because I feel like that is, for me, that is the highlight of his films, is the dialogue. It's super rich,
Yeah, the dialogue is rich.
but it's also really hard to understand sometimes.
Words too big for you, huh, Michael?
Yeah,
It's not even that
too many
they're
syllables.
way too many syllables. It's not even that they're that big. It's like they're in weird arrangements. Like I understand all the words that Willem Dafoe is saying, but it's like, wait, he actually is talking about this thing. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
cool.
and they do use a lot of like not like archaic English, but like archaic language to us in our modern dialect, Like they're saying things like portent. Like when was the last time you heard portent being used in a sentence?
I've never used
lunch.
it. Yeah.
Kellen every other day.
Yeah. Kellen is always saying some weird things.
Maybe that's why nobody understands me.
I think Robert Eggers and you would get along.
I feel like
Yeah,
I feel like
for
we need
sure.
to meet
Yeah.
so we can just like act all tough and like mysterious in public, then behind closed doors we're like,
Yeah, we need to get that set up.
Yeah.
we gotta get that going.
We'll get that set up for you.
So who is this movie for? For people who
Well-
are looking to.
Before we get into that, I do just
Oh yeah, go.
want to say this isn't my favorite film of his. And I really admired everything, like from the dialect, obviously the historical accuracy. I thought the cinematography was amazing. And I thought the acting was incredible too. But there's something with the story that for me lacked any emotion. Like I didn't really feel connected to the characters like I wanted to be. And I feel like even with a film like The Lighthouse, where it is very historically accurate, it's very dry, it is funny, but in a very dry way. I still felt a lot of emotion in that story. There's something about this, mainly I think with Lily Rose Depp's character, that I just didn't really understand where she was coming from emotionally as a character.
Because she's a woman.
Yeah, no.
Clip it.
We'll get.
Got him.
Damn it. No, we'll get into it more with spoilers, but I don't know. I wasn't as sold on this movie as his other films. I still really enjoyed seeing it, and I think it's a good movie. I just think it's worth noting that I don't know. There's some off about it to me, at least.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, who do you guys think this movie's for? I mean, I know.
I mean, it's definitely for Kellen, but if you don't know who Kellen is,
It's for, I would say at the end of the day, for Robert Eggers. 'Cause you could tell he loves Nosferatu and Bram Stoker's Dracula. So anybody like that,
yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the people like that are readers.
Lit majors.
Yeah, lit majors, English majors, but also like people who just are history buffs or enjoy history. People who have a fascination with the macabre, goths, emos.
Oh yeah, they'll love this.
Yeah,
movie.
actually, you're right. Goths and emos, you have to see this
Yeah.
movie.
If you're a goth, you will literally cream your pants. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd recommend it to anyone who's into horror or just like
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
feel like
think
it's a fun watch for someone who likes to get spooked.
Definitely.
Looking for a good spook.
I think the pacing was really good too. Like it wasn't at no point during the film was I like, all right, let's get to it, or whatever. Maybe there was some points where I was like, all right, let's see Nosferatu kill somebody or something. But I don't know. I thought the pacing was really good.
Yeah, I thought the pacing was good too. I did find myself at times forgetting
Just too turned on.
about characters sometimes. Like I would get kind of I don't know, like we'd be in a scene with like Nicholas Hoult, right? And I'd kind of forget anything that Lily Rose Depp was experiencing. And then kind of vice versa. And I don't know if that's just me or, if that's the film. But that was kind of my experience. It was interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, for me, a lot of this film tried very hard to follow the original story of Dracula, which I thought was sick. But it is interesting to see the reception of a Victorian narrative to a modern audience, because I mean, for me, and I'm very excited to get into the spoilers section of this discussion, but a lot of the themes that are born out of like the pure evil fear that is Dracula still carry over today, That being said, this is an adaptation, and it was interesting to see Robert Eggers' take on specific characters, specifically Anna. Her character. Again, without too many spoilers.
Well,
Wink, wink.
before we get into spoilers, let's just close off who this film's for. Goths, emos, Kellens, horror fans.
Yeah.
I'd also say just film buffs. Just
Definitely.
with Nosferatu being probably the most notable film in film history.
Yeah.
That was one of the first films that really took off. And I haven't seen it yet, but I am going to watch it very soon.
The original Nosferatu?
Yeah.
Yeah. Has anyone seen that?
I haven't.
Because my only knowledge of Nosferatu prior to this is that one SpongeBob episode.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Where they talk about
Yeah,
Nosferatu and it comes in and it's just some guy with a spatula.
Nosferatu.
Nosferatu.
And
all
he's
flipping the light
flicking the
switch.
lights.
Yeah.
I thought there was one frame of Nosferatu where he has the hands kind of that way, and in my head I was like, Nosferatu.
That's my
He's
one
walking
other
towards-
nitpick about this film is he never turned on.
Yeah, he
and
didn't
off the
flick any lights.
Yeah, there's
he
no-
never flicked them on.
The hash slinging, the hash slinging slasher.
But let's get into spoilers. So if you haven't seen the film and you don't want this film spoiled for you, I would pause this and come back to this discussion later and go get your hiney in the theater and go see Nosferatu.
Do it, losers.
This is a spoiler warning. Consider yourself warned.
As I was kind of talking about before, Anna's character in this film, she has way more agency than like the book character, and I think what it all comes down to for me is the sucking and fucking of the film. And I'll tell you why.
I'll tell you why.
So, like what Dracula wants, and it's not Dracula, it's Count Olaf in this film,
Yeah.
otherwise known as Nosferatu. But what he wants above all is to feed. He like one of the quotes in the film was, "I am nothing but an appetite." And I thought that was so cool.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
was
that's
awesome.
exactly what he wants and who he is, what he is.
Yeah.
A lot of what Count Olak wants is like, you know, that sense of like purity that comes from life. And much of that purity is found in Anna, his number one desire. In the book, Anna is kind of like, she's kind of just like comatose a lot of the story, you know? In this one, however, like, I know you mentioned like you didn't really get her character, and like, I feel that because I feel like this is more of an original take, you know? And for you book nerds, you can fact check me. But in this story, it feels like she has a lot more agency, you know? There was a back and forth between her and Willem Dafoe's character where he told her, like, you know, in ancient ages, you would be a sage, you know, you would be revered. But unfortunately, in our modern society, like, you are even more important than that because you are, and this is me paraphrasing now, because you are overlooked and people gaslight you into thinking you're crazy. And it was her sacrifice in the end that like saved the day. you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, the sucking and fucking. And which I gotta say, there was a lot of that.
A ton of it, yeah.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, like if you really strip this movie down to its bare bones, it's about a guy who kind of loses his girlfriend to her ex with a mustache. That's basically
It's happened to all of us.
Yeah.
it has to happen to every guy.
And God, he was smoking hot. He was,
Yeah.
Dude, that
mustache.
oh,
dude,
so
those little
good.
chicken
those
legs.
open sores.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the his creature design was so awesome.
Yeah. Makeup was
So
really
good.
good.
His body was so textured.
Yeah.
Super textured.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell that was Bill Skarsgård.
No, I
that
know.
was
Oh
Bill
yeah,
Skarsgård.
it was
right?
It
Bill
was.
Skarsgård.
It was.
His voice was incredible, dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
The wheezing, the breathing.
Oh yeah, dude.
It was so evil.
I know.
Wheezing was awesome.
I feel like I'm gonna be scared now of tall people with asthma,
Yeah.
just because of how.
He was having a tough time breathing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He was
Dude,
his
yeah.
breath the
His
whole time.
presence in the film was so awesome.
You could feel it.
Yeah.
Every time he was on camera,
Yeah.
it's like a
Another-
foreboding presence.
Another thing with the sound design, like how
Oh my God.
when
His
he
footsteps.
was there and his footsteps
Yeah.
and everything they made him about was so emphasized with the sound design to make him so much more of a presence
Oh my
that
God.
really was taking over and just like
It was
getting in there.
awesome.
It was so cool.
Awesome. And the shadow stuff I thought was
Oh.
so cool.
Oh,
Where
yeah.
he's like, you can see the shadow of him in the sheet, but then there's no one there. Like that is so cool.
that was
That
such
was
a sick
sick.
opening.
Yeah.
The wide of her like
Yeah.
walking, you know,
and then
the
she's like
house.
floating.
Yeah.
My favorite shot of the film is when he extends his hand out into the world, and then the shadow of his hand just envelops the whole city.
That was
Yeah.
And
beautiful.
the screams of the people.
yeah, yeah,
was
dude.
like
that was amazing. Yeah.
That was so cool.
That was
I-
classic cinema right there.
yeah.
yeah.
I think
Classic cinema.
my favorite shots were the when Nicholas Holt's character is walking, he comes to that crossroad.
Oh, the carriage.
The carriage, dude.
Yeah.
The carriage. That I could watch that over and over again. It was so beautiful.
Dude, he walks up to it, and then eventually he stops walking, and he's
He's just floating. And there was a
Yeah.
lot of floating shots in this where
Yeah.
the camera is fixed to a character and then you're just kind of like moving with them. And it's awesome. I love that. But the carriage scene was so beautiful. It was one of those like, come on. Like this is
During
looks
that scene,
so good. Dude.
in my notes, I wrote, "We will never get another director like this," because that to me is such a Robert Eggers type of scene.
Yeah.
I can't think of anybody else. I think like the closest comparison I have like for this movie specifically is maybe Tim Burton or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Can I describe this real quick?
Yeah.
Because I love the shot sequence. So he's like walking. He is a shadow himself. He's walking. It's perfectly symmetrical. There's light streaming down the middle of this forest. And then you get the reverse shot of his POV. And you see what you assume to be Nosferatu but then it turns out it's this carriage, and the carriage is like the sound design for that was also incredible. It sounded like there was only 2 horses. It was just like big booming sounds, and then you realize it is a carriage, and then you cut back to his reaction, and then when they cut back, the carriage has no horses. It's just sideways, perfectly. Yeah, perfectly illuminated, edge light over everything. The snow is falling. And then he just, like you said, floats into the carriage. Like he's just being taken
It
by.
reminded me of Hereditary.
Yeah.
When Peter's like going into the treehouse.
Really
Yes.
unsettling, like floating.
Yeah,
you know?
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, floating is very unsettling.
It's very uncanny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That got my jollies all up in a bunch,
your
dude. I was
jollies.
that was amazing.
And also, while we're talking about shots, can I just say, like, there were a lot of just like static shots that were framed like Victorian, like pre-Raphaelite paintings.
Yeah.
Like the use of the mirror when Willem Dafoe's character walks out and dramatically looks out the window.
Yeah, and you
his
have the
face
one
comes
mirror.
into frame in the mirror, and he just we just hold on that. Or at the very end when Anna is like cradling the corpse of Nosferatu,
The final shot. I was going to say the
like,
final
and she's
shot.
covered in those,
Yeah.
and those
flowers,
flowers
yeah.
were a recurring motif from the
Yep.
beginning. Like,
Yep.
like, why don't you throw these out? These are going to die, no matter what. Basically, and
Yeah.
she was covered in those flowers.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
That final shot is very beautiful.
Yep.
I also loved how they wrapped up the film at the climax. I believe. I think that was like really fun. How that was like the end. It's like it was a perfect
No resolution.
No need because that's
Yeah.
all you. And then you just have that final top down shot of the creature or Nosferatu on top of her. That was awesome.
Yeah, and also
Oh, and his death scene was
I'd like to
So
circle
sick.
back
Full
because
sunlight.
the climax,
Yeah.
the climax,
You could finally see him for the first time,
it was
like fully.
all about infidelity.
Yeah.
Which is that theme from the original, Dracula that carries over well to the modern era. Because, like, you see that fucking guy making out with, like, your girl. Like, it doesn't matter who you are. You're like, I don't like that. I don't like
Especially
that.
his
I don't want
mustache,
that.
dude.
Yeah.
yeah.
And, like, his breath stinks.
As soon as they start making out, I was like,
Bro,
oh no.
Yeah, dude.
the gulping sounds too of like the amount of blood going into him.
Yeah.
And the way his body's
moving.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so awesome.
And like also, no matter who it is that he's feeding on,
Yeah.
they give in. Like it's impossible to resist that sort of connection to ultimate euphoria and desire, which is Nosferatu. Like he is carnal desire, and like he like sinks his teeth into like his victim's chest.
Yeah.
Even Nicholas Hoult, like, because that was one thing that got me like off the bat was like the moaning. I was like, is that intentional? Oh no, it is. It
Yeah.
is very intentional.
yeah.
It was extremely unsettling.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if the moaning was coming from the movie or you.
It was a little bit of a
both.
It was a little bit of
Yeah,
Kelly.
it was a little bit of
little
Kelly.
bit of healthy blend. There.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to shout out my boy Aaron Taylor Johnson, who I didn't even realize was going to be in this movie, but he was awesome.
He's so good, dude.
Really cool.
He's so good.
Wait, which character was he again?
He was God, I don't know names.
He was
the friend.
Oh,
friend.
the best friend?
the best
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best friend who ended up fucking his dead wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not the best look.
Not a great look.
Not a
but
but
He had the plague real bad at the end. They fucked him up a little bit.
that was paid off in threes though. That was the final. You had one at the beginning. I can't keep my hands off of her.
I can't resist you.
Yeah. One in the middle. I can't resist you again when they're on the beach. And then that was the final. That was a very good like three
three beats.
three beat. Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, damn, he's gonna do it. Yeah, they set it up.
Yeah.
I just anytime I see him in a movie, I think back to Kick Ass.
Yeah, dude,
And I just think of Aaron Taylor Johnson and Kick Ass to this.
so good. And in Nocturnal Animals too.
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
good in that.
But I really
Frightening,
felt
though.
like he did such an amazing job in this film with his dialect and just everything. Like I never saw Aaron Taylor Johnson in this movie.
Yeah.
I to me, he's like kind of the sneak like actor in this.
Yeah, hey, Aaron Taylor Johnson, we would love to get you in a sketch or something. That'd be awesome. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Hit us up.
Just let us know.
Yeah, hit us up. 'Cause
Hit
we're
us
super
up.
busy, and like we also don't have your contact information. So
It makes it really
Just
hard.
comment
Just
on
makes
this
it hard,
YouTube
yeah.
video.
yeah, we love you, man. It's awesome. Love your work.
So you guys have anything else that you'd like to share about Nosferatu?
I kind of do. And correct me if I'm wrong. I'd like to open up this discussion to the boys meeting the films. None of these characters in this story had any kind of redemption in their arcs, respectively, except for Anna.
Yeah,
Everyone else ended up in one way or another being kind of condemned.
Damn.
Like
Yeah.
think about that. You know? Like
yeah,
the best friend character, he ended up like pushing everyone he loved away and like in a way, you know, betraying them, throwing them out to the dogs. Had sex with his dead wife.
yep.
That was weird.
That was a
Not
weird
great.
thing.
Not
Yeah,
a great
not
look.
good look at all.
Willem Dafoe ended up like tricking Nicholas Holt's character.
That was an amazing scene though, with him
Yeah.
on the at
with
the fire.
Yeah.
I don't even know what he was saying, but he's just yelling. He's just yelling things.
Yeah.
It's like throwing
all
fire.
the fire. He knew exactly what to do.
Yep. And he knew that's what had to happen.
Yeah.
You know, that was the only way. And also Nicholas Holt, of course, you know,
Got
like
cucked.
he got cucked the hardest out of almost any cuck I've ever seen. Like
Yeah.
she was getting excuse me. she was getting railed by Count Olak while they were having sex. And like, you know, mid bang, she was like, oh, like, you know, you never satisfied me like he did.
That
Or he
was
did.
Dude, yeah.
why she also her in that scene, her acting in that scene was incredible, dude.
Yeah.
The switch
the
ups,
shaking.
the shaking,
was
everything was
crazy.
Oh my god, so good, dude.
She did a great job.
She crushed
Yeah,
it.
I think her performance was amazing. I still I just couldn't connect to her character. And I think that's from the writing. And that's what like ultimately like by the end of the movie, the only resolution we have is from her character. And I just kind of I don't know. It didn't really feel like much of a resolve to me, mainly because I just felt like I never really connected to her.
Well, let's go back to the beginning, because in the beginning of the movie, she's just, I guess, depressed.
She's crying. Well,
Yeah, she's crying.
She explained this later on.
Yeah, she did.
She was
Yeah.
ostracized by her family, by her, like, you know, supposed clairvoyance,
Right.
which, you know, the fallen woman is a big theme in Victorian literature.
Yeah.
She's weird. So
Yeah.
she felt alone.
So she felt alone, so she calls upon this spirit. Or she calls upon anyone.
She reaches out to anything. She
Anything,
opened
yeah.
up that channel and
And
Awakened.
awakened, yeah.
Nosferatu picked up
Nosferatu.
the other line.
hello, I'll be right there.
You got it. Be right there in a jiffy. I'll be floating on by. I'm in the shadows.
I'm gonna bang you.
Wait, that's what this is?
Wait a second.
Yeah. So I guess, well, going to that, like, could you not relate to being kicked out of the family, or was it the way that the writing was? What do you not?
I don't know. And honestly, at the end of the day, like I want to see it again. while I'm at home so I can put subtitles on, because I do feel like that will allow me to solidify like my position on the movie, you know, how I feel about it. So I don't know if I just lost a few things in translation because of the dialect and like,
Yeah.
you know,
I can understand that.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like I didn't fully comprehend all the things they were saying. But yeah, I related to the character. I understood the struggle. And then having this force like open in the world now.
yeah,
I did not get why he was somewhere else. Like is that where she was before also? And she had to move to this new city, and that's why he had to buy a house where she was, or like I didn't understand that part of it.
yeah, me either.
No.
I think they were just not like financially successful. So
Oh yeah.
he was
Well,
like just trying
Dracula
to like
or Nosferatu?
Are you asking
No.
where Anna like originally came from?
Like
Yeah.
why did he have to buy the house to get to her town? If she had already opened
They'd been together before.
Yeah, they'd already been together before. This was like years later.
Well, so I think that he had laid claim to her soul, but my understanding is that she
I want to note how comfortable Kellen
Devoted.
was saying that.
she devoted her soul to like Nicholas Holt's character. And again, I apologize for not remembering these characters' names.
Yeah,
That's okay. It was tough.
Yeah.
So therein, she violated their contract, and his bond to her was not pure. It was not consensual.
Right.
So-
which is what he went to go sign.
Right.
Nicholas Holt's character signed his divorce, I guess, or I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he was basically signing over his wife's property to Count Olak,
Right. Yeah.
and she needed to be a
And a house.
consensual party to this agreement.
Got it.
And the house, it's a great deal.
Yeah.
You know, if you're looking for real estate, make sure to get the free wife deal.
yeah, the wife and house package.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. Which I thought was a cool way to tie in the ending too, because their understanding was Olak needed, in order for him to be defeated, he needed to lie in his resting place at the first crow of the cock.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like his resting place was like her bed.
Yeah.
It was in her flesh.
Yeah.
And she was the one who was able to catch that.
So metal, dude.
Very metal.
Very metal.
Awesome.
Yeah.
The whole movie was entirely metal.
Yeah. Yeah. So many fun characters. Dude, okay. There was one guy that we all laughed out loud.
Yeah.
It was it was a far away shot. It was Willem Dafoe and Chris. Or no, it was right before they met Willem Dafoe's character. Just some drunk old guy like on the side of them. Like, he's just like talking to him. He's like, get over here. So many awesome like moments like that.
The other guy with the close up, like
Yeah.
the big close up. What did he say?
So
again?
he was working in the asylum.
Yeah.
He's like, he was eating them all raw like.
Yeah.
raw like.
Yeah. That was so good, dude.
That was amazing.
That
Like,
guy
best delivery.
actually might have been the best actor in that whole film, dude.
Yeah,
He
no one
killed
else.
it.
Yeah, no one else did a good job.
No,
that guy.
everyone did a really good job, but that guy.
Yeah, he brought it, dude.
That one got a big laugh.
It seemed
that
like
was
they
awesome.
That was
like
hilarious.
literally had a time machine, went back to that time period, and just
Yeah.
took that guy back.
Yeah,
He's eating them all raw like, sir. Raw.
so good, dude. I love the time period. Like it's just so fun, and at no point did I feel like I was anywhere else other than 1836 or whatever.
Oh,
65.
totally.
And
I gotta give a shout out to the writer for writing characters dialogue.
Pretty sure
It
it's
was
Robert Eggers.
distinguishable.
Robert
Was it Robert Eggers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, once again, Robert Eggers, baby doll. This is for you. Yeah, like so the sycophant, right? You know who I'm talking about?
No.
The guy who's drawing the symbols.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
okay. Yeah.
Sycophant.
Nosferatu's henchman.
Yeah, sycophant meaning like an overzealous, like way too loyal follower.
A groupie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's basically Count Olaf's groupie.
He is a groupie. I'll do
his-
anything you want.
His dialogue fell short for me in the best way because he was a worm. And even though like that sort of dialogue, you know, it tends to be complex in Victorian literature, his was just a worm talking in that time period.
Yeah.
You know, for me, it was simple. He was kind of a doofus.
Yeah.
He was gross, man.
He was just a goblin.
He was a
Yeah.
nasty little
Yeah, just
man.
eating birds' heads
Yeah,
off
he bit a
and
bird's
stuff.
head off.
Yeah.
That was good.
That was disgusting.
He's
was
just
really
eating them
good.
all raw.
Yeah, super raw, like
Super raw like.
positively ghastly.
Well, thank you guys for joining us for our very first episode of Boys Meet Film. Once again, I have Kellen Crawford over here, Max Newhan, Sean McDonald. My name is Michael Schnee. You can follow us at Boys Meet Film on Instagram, and you can follow me on Letterboxd at mschnee, which is SCHNEE, and I will put it on the screen somewhere. But thank you guys, and join us next Wednesday while Max and I talk about Baby Girl.